see if we're going to go live. Okay, so let's see where we are. I think we're live on Facebook. So let me just. So hello, good morning, everybody. This is Susan Ord, also known as Kangen Water. I hope you're very well on this beautiful, beautiful morning. It's lovely here in Scotland. My colleague Ian can't be with us today, unfortunately, because he works within the NHS and he's been called up. So he's been very busy, poor lad. So wish him well. But the show must go on, as they say. So today's subject is the body's balancing act, and really the difference between whether something is acidic or whether something is alkaline. And it's something that we probably haven't really considered in terms of our health and well-being, but it's something that when I was introduced to this amazing water, that I discovered it was significant. So I'm going to share with you a small presentation today and show you the different waters. So give me 1 second. It's going to share my screen. So, okay, so this is going to work. Okay, so my name is Susan Ord, as I mentioned, and just to give you a little disclaimer at the start, I am not a doctor. I'm just sharing with you my experience of Kangen water and what I know in terms of the properties of this very special water. If you want to get advice from your doctors, please do so. But obviously, we're not going to make any claims here. It's usually just on how it's affected me. So just to give you a little bit of background on my story, this was me at my health crisis, should I say. So I've had chronic eczema since the age of 5. And about 18 months ago, I really hit a kind of brick wall with my eczema. Because it was starting to get to a point where I really couldn't function. And I had tried the normal conventional ways of modern medicine through, by going to the doctors, getting creams, getting steroids, getting antihistamine tablets. They were trying to put me on anti-suppressant tablets for my immune system. Went and got light therapy and everything else, but everything was just not working. And so I really had to sort of come up with my own solution and say, well, what is my body trying to tell me? Why is my body reacting like this? There's obviously something simply out of balance. And so for me, it was trying to say, listen to what my body's saying to me and try and address those issues rather than trying to continually deal with the symptoms and just cover them up, not actually dealing with the actual root cause. So for me, it was really important to try and address that naturally, because when you take a lot of these pharmaceutical tablets and pills and creams, there's generally a lot of side effects that go along with it. And you can have a lot of problems trying to withdraw from these things. So this was me at my health crisis. And when I discovered the power of Kangen water, it was almost like a penny had dropped, because I thought, well, wait a minute, if my body's made up of 3/4 of water, surely the quality of the liquids that I am putting into my body is really significant. So this is where I sort of looked into the Kangen water. So your body is all about a balancing act. Our bodies give us indicators all the time. So it's just a question of whether we're listening to them or not. So going back to school, we were taught about the pH scale, from, something that's very acidic to something that's very alkaline. Obviously, very neutral is water. So we were taught this at school, but do we really understand what it meant for our own bodies? So our bodies are constantly trying to maintain a state of balance at all times. And, it's sometimes quite challenging in this modern world that we live in of convenience. And, I think even at this time, we've maybe rediscovered a little bit of home cooking, doing things at home, things not being quite as convenient. But actually, we're probably getting a better quality of nutrition in us at this time. So what I've discovered is that there's kind of like really three main elements that are really the kind of root cause of a lot of the health issues that we have in modern day. So the first one is dehydration, and we assume that we're still living, walking, and everything, that we're hydrated, we're drinking our cups of tea and our coffee and our juice and everything else, and we think we're taking in enough liquids, but we're not looking at what we're actually consuming in terms of the quality of the beverage that we're taking. The second one is oxidative stress. And every day we're getting bombarded by all these little free radicals that are stealing electrons from our cells, and this is what's helping us age, so to speak. So this is causing this oxidative stress. But the one I want to talk to you today about is whether our body is too acidic, right? And there's generally symptoms and signs that our bodies will be telling us this. So what's interesting about our bodies is that our bodies have this natural ability to want to heal. Right? So we don't tell our bodies to heal. So if you cut your hand, our bodies will naturally heal themselves, yeah? Right? So our bodies actually know what to do. So depending on what we eat and what we drink will determine what our body is going to do with that, right? So if we are taking foods and beverages that are too acidic, our body has to balance that. And you'll have heard from the doctors to eat more leafy greens, eat your fruits and vegetables, because really what they're trying to say to you is eat more antioxidant foods, but also to eat more alkalizing foods. And that's to help our bodies to try and balance themselves. So what I found is that our body's blood pH never strays from 7.35 to 7.45. And it's a really fine tolerance in there, right? So actually your body's probably starting to get a little bit acidic when it starts to head down towards the 7.35, right? So it's our bodies are constantly trying to maintain this state of balance. And if it doesn't get the alkaline equivalent of the acidity, it's going to start to take it from our tissues, our bones, our ligaments. So this is where a lot of our ailments come. So if any of these things seem familiar, you've got to start to maybe question whether your body is too acidic. Is your body producing too much excess and phlegm, right? It's trying to get rid of things. Chronic coughs, chest pain, sinus issues, acne, eczema, psoriasis, allergies, bladder and kidney infections, immune deficiency, bloating, indigestion, diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, fatigue, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, osteoporosis, sciatica, joint pain, and obesity. So these are all really symptoms of acidosis that you maybe start to think, well, actually, what is my body starting to tell me? So it's dependent on how we listen to this. So these things can result in something called inflammation. And you'll be aware of this because you'll either have pain, heat, redness, swelling, or loss of function, right? So your body is it's like driving a car, right? The low fuel indicator comes on in your car, and it's telling you you're going to run out of fuel, right? So if you choose to ignore that indicator, then you're going to run out of fuel, yeah, right? So your body is giving you indicators all the time. And so it's up to you whether you pay attention to these indicators or not, because it's easy to have something, to have pain and then go automatically to take a painkiller. You're basically switching off the indicator, right? Your body is trying to communicate to you that something is not right. So you want to maybe start to listen to your body and say, right, what are you trying to tell me? Okay. So you're trying to deal with the root cause and not just cover up the actual symptom. So you'll be aware of, obviously, there's, your fruits and vegetables, and, there's a lots of different alkaline based foods. But the challenge you've got with that is there's foods that are more alkaline and foods that are slightly less alkaline. But I challenge you to see how much cucumber you eat in a day, how much kale, how much kelp, how much spinach, how much parsley, how much broccoli. Okay, so these things are all great in moderation, and you tend to incorporate them into your diet. But the reality is that you are not going to probably eat this heavily in your diet. And so what I discovered was that there was an easier way of doing this. And the challenge with even foods that we take in is that is going to we're going to digest that, and that is going to produce a waste product, and that waste product is acidic. So even though if we take an alkaline product, it gives us that alkalinity, but the waste of that product is then acidic. So we're still in the same boat. So I discovered something called Kangen Water. So for all the scientific people out there who want to maybe research this in a bit more detail, what I would suggest to you is to go to something called Google Scholar. And Google Scholar will share with you scientific research papers on this water. So the technical name for this water is hydrogen-rich electrolyzed reduced water. So that's what you want to search for, is ERW, if you are looking for it on Google Scholar. So the other thing I discovered was that not all waters are created equally. So, you know, when I looked into this and I was shown this rainbow of colors in a demonstration, I was like, what is all this? And so all these liquids look clear, but actually it's not until you can see for yourself really what the true nature of that water is that then you discover you get to make choices in terms of what you decide to consume to bring you better health. So obviously the number one go-to is tap water. And, you know, when you start to think about this, it really is quite scary. This is actually a picture of a burst incoming water supply in Dunblane. And I'm like, wait a minute, that is the water where the water's coming to go into the house. And they're like, yeah, that's just from a plumbing company. I was like, oh my word. So the thing is, everything you put down the sink, whether you flush it down the toilet, is going to basically be recycled, right? And the water companies have to then make sure that water is technically safe, right? So they're going to start to incorporate other chemicals into that water. But you'll also find in drinking water from your tap things like fluoride, chlorine. I mean, chlorine, for example, you'll be very familiar with this. You know, it's very commonly known. They put chlorine into tap water. Now, chlorine is a disinfectant. So why would you normally want to drink disinfectant? You know, it's designed to kill things. That's great. I get that. But it's also going to kill your microbiome within your body, right? Which is really not what you want. Okay, so you want all your good bacteria to still be alive, right? But chlorine, by drinking tap water, you're going to kill all this. Things like lead, mercury, arsenic has been found in tap water. And you've got things like herbicides, pesticides, all this stuff runs off the fields into the water table. You'll find things like lye and rust and, you know, other pharmaceuticals in your tap water. So you've really got to start to question what is in my tap water. Things like bottled water as well. This is the next go-to one, simply for convenience. And I understand that and I get it. But how old is that water that has been sitting in that bottle, right? So what I've discovered is that the flimsier the actual bottle, you know, the worse quality the plastic is, right? And you'll be familiar with this, that a lot of the bottled waters, you know, it's been found as microplastics in the water. And that's because water is a natural scavenger. So it's going to start to try and break down the actual plastics in the bottle. And so 93% of bottled water that's tested have found microplastics. 54% of plastics found in bottled water contain polypropylene, which is basically from the bottle caps. It contains other things like BPA and things you really don't want to encourage drinking. And it looks innocent enough, but you have to remember this is a multi-billion-pound industry. Coca-Cola sells more bottled water than Coca-Cola. So that's going to tell you something. So there really is no substitute for water. You know, this is what it normally looks like when you go to the shops, yeah? You see all this range of very clever marketing from the beverage companies, whether it be from orange juices to energy drinks, to all the fizzy pop juices and everything else, to Ribena, full of vitamin C and all this stuff, right? This is really just clever marketing. So there's no substitute for water. So today I'm going to show you, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen just now. So I'm going to come back to show you some of the things here. So what I've got here today is, I hope you can see this okay. That's my face, right? So we've got the kind of usual suspects here, right? So our bottled waters, our Lucozades, our sparkling waters, juice for the kids and everything else, right? So I actually just want to show you some of how acidic some of these things are, okay? So bear in mind, we have our wee pH chart here, okay? So hope you can see that okay. Right, so First one, I'll simply start with tap water, right? Okay, so we'll get some things going here, right? Some tap water, right? So we'll get some bottled water. I'll bring this down a bit so you can see it, all right? Some bottled water. We would have some sparkling water. This is where it starts falling apart. Put that there just now. Put the bottled water there. I'm just going to show you very quickly some of the pHs on these things, right? So I've got this wee guy here. He's basically a pH tester, right? So it just tells us what the pH of the water is. So this was tap water, right? So it's sitting at 7, which is what you'd expect. Yeah, oh, it's a bit high, 8. Okay, so the water companies have had to make this neutral, right? So if you look at, when you get rainwater that falls at the sky, it's actually slightly acidic. Okay, but the companies, water companies don't want to supply acidic water because it's going to rust their pipes, yeah? So they don't want that. Okay, so bottled water, okay, right? It's pretty much just came out the tap anyway for a lot of these companies. Okay, sparkling water, what we've got, okay, a lot more acidic. Okay, bearing in mind our bodies are trying to maintain a balance of 7.35 to 7.45, yeah? So this one's going down, okay? Right, so if you take something like, let's pick, say, Monster, right? This is a big hit with the kids, yeah? Right, kids seem to take gallons of this stuff, right? And it's really scary because it's full of caffeine as well, right? Where are we? This way, right? 3.24, right? Okay, this is mega acidic, yeah? Okay, let's take something like a kid's fruit shoot. Let's see where we are with this. Right, acidic. So this is stuff we're giving to our kids. Yeah, really scary stuff. Yeah. Okay, you take something like, you know, you think you're doing yourself a favor by having some Oasis. Yeah. So let's just get us back in focus. I think we've gone a bit out of focus a little bit. Okay, again, very acidic, right? Super acidic. Yeah. If you take something like Coca-Cola, which is your classic, I'm just showing you how easy it is to consume acidic drinks. Wow, Coca-Cola is really going for it now. Yeah. Okay. And what makes these kind of drinks very acidic is really coming down to the fructose corn syrup that they put in them. Plus they're carbonated as well. Okay. So I just want to show you what the difference with Kangen water is. Okay, so there's three main properties of Kangen water, which I just find absolutely phenomenal, right? So I don't know about you, but when you drink tap water or bottled water, do you get that kind of bloated feeling, right? So what is amazing about Kangen water, I have this medical grade device machine in my home, and it produces 5 different types of water. And I can choose which type of water I want to use for different things. There's 3 different drinking waters. There's one that's for a beauty water for your skin and your hair. There's also one 11.5 pH water for cleaning your vegetables, fruits and vegetables to remove pesticides. The normal tap water can't do that. And there's also one called 2.5 pH, which is strong acidic water, but it's also known as hypochlorous acid, which is what I use as a hand sanitizer and disinfectant in my own home. So anyway, so this is Kangen Water 9.5, right? So I'm going to get some more tap water to show you this, right? So that one was this one. So it's tap water. So I'm just going to show you the difference of the waters. Okay, so I'll get rid of Coca-Cola. I'm going to put this with lemonade. Okay. I'm going to use lemonade instead of the cola just because it's clear. Okay. So these are pH indication drops. Okay, and this will tell us what the actual pH, and when you actually visually see it, then you can understand what Kangen water is all about. Okay, so here we have the lemonade. Okay, see this? Very acidic, yeah? So on our little chart here, okay, this wee guy sitting down here. Yep. Okay, with our fruit shoot for the kids. Again, very acidic. Okay, so this is gonna cause chaos in our bodies, yeah, because our bodies are trying to offset all this acidity that we're drinking. Okay, sparkling water. Again, very, very acidic. Okay, you think, okay, when you go to a restaurant and you think, oh, just have some sparkling water, it's better than tap water. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, so bottled water. Okay, so we've got here. Okay, so this is quite blue, so it's just off of neutral. Okay. This is our tap water, good old Scottish tap water. Okay, now I'd expect this to be neutral. It's maybe slightly in between neutral and alkaline, right? But bear in mind, when this comes out the sky, right, in rainwater, it's actually slightly acidic, right? So they've had to make it this way. So this is full of chemicals. Okay, so this is Kangen water. You see the difference? Okay, whoa, super alkaline, yeah? Okay, well, what's amazing about this water is that, let's bring this down so you can see it. Okay, so what's amazing about this water is the simple fact that, you know, if you're trying to eat lots of fruits and vegetables and lots of alkaline foods, you've got to consume a lot, yeah? Your doctors will tell you you're supposed to be drinking between sort of 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, right? Because that's got to try and replace, you know, the liquids that you use through talking, through sweating, through going to the toilet. So taking Kangen water is the quickest way, right? Day in, day out, right? To help your body restore balance. So Kangen water actually stands for return to origin. So it's about your body returning to that state of balance, right? Now, what is incredible about this water, okay? So even if your body was, you know, slightly acidic, or you've got issues of acidity, right? By drinking Kangen water, right, will start to change your body's health, yeah? Okay, the more acidic the water, the more Kangen water you need to drink. Okay, so this is starting to get harder now, yeah? Okay, right, so even the kids' juice, yeah, okay, and the lemonade, right? It's just not going to entertain the lemonade because it's so acidic, right? But this is how quickly you can destroy your body's balance. Okay, so we're talking about balance, you know, acidity versus alkalinity, right? And you're trying to get to this state of balance. So this is how quickly you can destroy this, right? Literally just one sip of lemonade is going to destroy it again, right? So for every can of, say, Coca-Cola or fizzy juice that you take, you're going to have to drink the equivalent of 11 litres of Kangen water, which is highly alkalized water, to neutralize that. Okay, but the great thing is don't get me wrong, I love a can of cola, I love a can of Iron Brew, okay, being Kangen Lassie, right? But I have Kangen water in my life, right? So I have Kangen water, I drink it every day, right? I'm probably drinking between 3 to 5 litres every day, right? So what's important about this is your body is going to start to build up acidity in your cells from eating and consuming acidic foods, okay, and from the waste products. It needs to be able to get rid of them toxins, yeah? It needs to be able to get rid of them. And if those toxins are allowed to build up because there's no way of flushing them out, that's when you're going to get issues of inflammation and all the symptoms I mentioned about acidosis, right? So this is why it's so important that the pH of the water that you're drinking is something that can make a difference. Okay, you're not going to get this with tap water. You're not going to get this with bottled water. Okay, it's something that you make a choice. Okay, so you can live with the symptoms of what you have, or you can invite something like Kangen water into your life to restore balance to your health. And once you've got that health balance back, then I'm sure you'll agree that you start to feel better, your mood starts to lift, your well-being starts to change. So those are the things that really make a difference. There's really no wealth in life if your health is not great. Yeah, the greatest wealth is health. So so what we're going to do is, look, I have this machine in my home. I quite often water share with people to let them experience the water. Obviously, if you're local to me, you're more than welcome to have a water share. To experience the water and see how quickly it starts to change you. Now, what will happen at the start is your body will probably go through a slight detox, and that detox is okay. It's just your body getting rid of all this waste product. And once it can do that, once it's cleaned your body, then it can start to heal. Okay, so you've got to give your bodies the right building blocks to actually do what it needs to do. And once you can do that, you start to restore a better sense of health. But you cannot get well in the same environment you got sick, right? So if you continue to consume drinks that are acidic and not offset it with anything that's alkaline based, then long term you're going to hit a brick wall. There's going to be this health crisis that you're going to hit. So there's choices that can be made at that point. But the thing is, if you're looking for something really complicated, like going to your doctors and getting lots of things, these things are fine when need be. But long term, you have to question the side effects that go with taking so much prescribed drugs. So I just love my Kangen water. I just think it's phenomenal. I think it's something that I'm sharing it with you. Because it's something you've probably never ever heard of before. No doubt you're probably going to Google and be searching and everything else, and there'll be information on it for and against. Okay, so what is interesting about this water that comes from this medical grade device is that the water is alkalized, right? And that's a very important fact. It's been alkalized through the process of electrolysis. Okay, so there's nothing added to the water. You can technically go out and buy alkaline water, but it's really just water with bicarbonate soda in it. And those minerals, if you take too much of that alkaline water, it is going to make you sick, okay? Because your body has got nowhere to get rid of these minerals. You've given it too much, okay? Whereas Kangen water is alkalized because it's done through the process of electrolysis. So if you would like a personal one-to-one demo on all the other amazing properties of this water, because this is just one of them, then feel free to get in touch and message me. And if you'd like to have a water share, then feel free also to get in touch with me by sending me a message. I'm just going to quickly go onto Facebook and check to see if there's any messages or any comments or any questions. But I hope I've actually explained as much as I can on this. So give me 1 second. Technology's here. So yeah, all good. Okay, so I hope this has been interesting to you. If you want to find out any more about it, you can visit my website at kangenlassie.com, or you can send me a message. We can talk one-to-one. I'm delighted to share this water with you, And I hope you find good health in yourself, and have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Okay, take care then. Thank you. Cheers.